In this video, chapter 1.2.1, we're going to study the LRT module of ICRFS Plus. LRT stands for Link Ratio Techniques. Let me open my standard database, and let me go to a particular triangle group, which I've called Mack. It's real data. I think the incurred losses represent American Faculty of Reinsurance Association's aggregate data, which is public data for these particular accident years. The LRT module applies to any incremental array or cumulative array. So to apply the link ratio techniques module, you highlight the triangle, you click on LRT, and you come up with a window within Windows. So you can see I can scroll down on the outer vertical scroll bar. That makes the window smaller a bit. We can then look at data and ratios. That's the data ratios tab here, so that's just the data and the ratios. If you just want to look at the ratios, you double click on the ratios. You can look at ratio selections. So that's the ratios, different way of selecting ratios, selections. The standard chain letter ratios are equivalent to what, this is a European term, are equivalent to what Americans call the volume-weighted average ratios. So these are the volume-weighted average ratios. And by default, they appear in the final selection. That's the arithmetic average. If you double-click on the arithmetic average, that drops down as the final selection. You'll see that this module that can be applied to incremental arrays, cumulative arrays, is extremely versatile in terms of what you can do. And a lot of it you can actually run, you'll see, from outside the system. If you go to video chapter, when you complete this particular chapter, if you skip the video chapter 5.2, you'll see actually how we could create Excel reports based on this module that is applied to a variety of arrays like earned premium, written premium, incurred data, pay data. The actual report template will then do some processing of the ICRFS tables to create additional tables that the actually requested by the auditors. So you'll see it's a very versatile part of the system. In fact, the whole system is very versatile. So let me go back to the system. You can choose there's a geometric average. If you want to select this number from this cell, you can do that. Or you can actually select from the ratios table itself 1.02637, and that drops down to your final selection, 6 to 7, 1.20637. The other thing you can do is you can vary some of the parameters to ultimate. What's the sort of ultimate development period? And also you can also vary the parameter. Over here we've got the average of the last 4 years. Well, let's go to N. So let's make it go up to 15. That's our ultimate period. And the number of calendar years for which we want to take different types of averages is 5. So notice that changes to 5. We could take, say, the standard chain letter selections, click with the right button of your mouse, and then use the free parameter smoother. So that's the free parameter smoother of these ratios. And then we also have a ratio to ultimate. If you want to know how to use this particular module, apart from their training videos, there's also what's called context-sensitive help, and you can look at the selections window. There's a whole description of that. You can, I guess, go back, select the saving and loading models window, and how do you do that, and so on. So, if you're doing things you're on the go and you're not too sure of something, you've always got this context-sensitive help. Okay, so we smooth those. You can put in industry data. What I'll do instead is I might take the geometric averages and just, of course, the industry data could actually come from somewhere else, and you could copy, and then you can put that there, and you can paste. That's a paste of that. You can smooth those also. Let's use a 2-parameter smoother for this. 2-parameter smoothing. After doing the 2-parameter smoothing, you might decide that that's going to be your final selection, so you double-click on 2-parameter smoothing. Alright, you've done that, so that becomes your final selection. So this green is your final selection, but let's suppose you really want to select this particular number, which industry data for this particular period 4 to 5, then you just click on F4, and that drops down there. So there's a lot of variety of things you do. It's pretty versatile. Industry data you can use now. You can smooth the numbers that you've got by judgment also. How do we do that? So I use a 3-parameter smoother for that. And copy that down. You can do a whole mix of things. In fact, your final selection, you can even put in something you like yourself. I guess you can make this 1.5. No, I think one way of doing that is you'll have to put it as a judgment number, 5, and then copy it down with F4. Okay? All right. So any selections you like, you can save them. Let's save it as, say, good. And then when you do the forecasting, you get additional tables. So in the forecast, you've got incremental forecast to ultimate, ultimate minus incurred to date, ultimate. You've got your, when you're forecasting cumulatives, you're also forecasting incrementals. You also have a Bornheutter Ferguson expected loss ratio forecast tab. Unfortunately, we didn't have any premiums, so the premiums by default were $1. Obviously, you'll have a list of premiums here, which is an input. If you go back to the triangle group, you'll see that premiums are an input. Okay, so it's expected loss ratio, that's an input. Let's go back to the LRT module. You'll have your answer based on the expected loss ratio method, an answer based on your selected link ratios, and then the Bornheutter Ferguson. If I close all this, in fact close all triangle groups, I can come back, I can run model ALC, I can run model good again. Okay, I can then do my forecasting based on model good. It's very instructive actually. If you now jump to video chapter 5.2 and see how we create a report, an Excel-based report that also includes a lot of post-processing on the Equifax type numbers to create additional tables. Very powerful. So a lot of the process that I've just gone through now can very much be automated. Okay, thank you.